Well, I'm Dan.
That's so weird because Nick.
Oh.
Welcome, everybody.
Good evening, Nick, and everybody else.
Welcome, fans of the show. This is the Unpanderers, of course.
Yeah. Unpanderers. www.unpanderers.com.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Welcome. So,
what would you say we do here?
We are a couple of friends. We talk about anything that, lights our fancy.
And everything?
And everything that goes off on a tangent.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Oh, tangents.
Listen, if you're worried that you're not going to like this, you're going to hate it.
So just stop listening.
Unless you're into drama, conversation, intrigue, and you're over 21 or 18. Just 18.
Yeah, there's a gray area.
It is. Between 18 and 21 is
yeah, if you're not adult enough.
A lot of the opinions, hearsay, the things we say, I feel like I do this worse every time.
Yeah, and they're not representative of the people around us.
Our employers.
Yep. All those hereout do not represent herein.
Mm-hmm. All tales are probably fictionish, unless they're true, but we're not.
Fictionary. Yep.
Fictionary. They're all fictionary, folks. So we're going to dive in. We're going to give you a little something right where you want it.
Yeah.
We're going to give you just enough that you're smirking and you're smiling just like us. First segment of the day. Can you believe it? We're already here.
Yeah. Something to warm us up. Get a little topical, a little fresh.
My newest tongue twister that I repeated a couple times before here.
You like the Roman one?
Yeah, I like that one. Roberta ran rings around the Roman ruins. 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 Well, it's not a tongue twister, I guess.
It's too easy to say that.
It is.
It's not as hard as toy boat, which is.
Toy boat's the hardest one. Can you do it for us?
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. You start to sound.
You sound like you're from the South. That's yeah. I got the South from that tow boat.
Tow boat.
I guess I could be British Southern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give it a shot yourselves, audience.
Mm-hmm. If you can say it 5 times real fast, send a video in to us, and we will literally PayPal you 80 cents.
Yeah.
There's no way there's like millions of people, right? Local show bankrupt by toy boat phenomenon.
Unpanderers liars.
Unpanderers pandered at last.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any smirk or smile for you this week? For real?
I do have quite a smile, actually.
Oh, quite a smile. Mine's short. I'll go first because it sounds like you got a big one. I can't follow a big one.
It's just self-enjoyment. It's not really that big.
So mine's a smirk. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I was getting gas in my car, and I'm one of those few jag-offs who still pays. No, geez, no. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, at a gas station. No. One of those few jag-offs who still pays with cashola. And I walk inside. I have to pay before I fill up. Everyone else just swipes their damn card. So, I went in and no one was there. And I was like, hello. And I felt like a jerk because, I'm not 5 years ago, I would have just been like, let's steal all the money. Now I'm a responsible adult. I'm like, there's cameras everywhere. Don't be an idiot. Mm-hmm. And then I literally walked into the back in the garage and I was like, hello? And the guy looked at me and looked away. And then he looked back and he was like, you don't work. And I was like, I just want to buy gas. I just want to pay you guys for gas. And the guy came in and he looked maybe my age, maybe a little younger. I was thinking 25-ish. I don't know. He could have been 18. It's hard to tell with white people. But he went and I paid him cash. And at the end he's like, all right, have a good day, sir. And I was like, how women say that? That bothers them if you say "and" or something. It's like, I'm not old. Well, it hit me right then. I was like, sir. Dude, I'm cool. We're bros. And he was like, in his head, I could hear him answering, yeah, whatever, sir. It was just weird. I became old the other day. I'm a sir.
Happened one day, did it?
Yeah, it did. Huh. I guess it happened. I'm old.
It's a shame.
Son of a bitch. I wanted to listen to rap music right in front of him and dance. Show him how cool I really was. Like that.
Dance
I was going to
find a new
dab.
co-host.
I can dab at him.
Co-host.
Younger co-host.
Just find that gas
Keep
station.
going through. He's the new co-host. Take my job, huh? You piece of shit. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. Woo!
So that was a smirk at yourself for being old?
It was a smirk at him for being wrong, but yeah, close enough. Where were you going?
My smiles have been centered around like my new workplace. So my workplace has these bicycles so you can get around campus, and they're just...
It's like you're Mr. Healthy Granola all of a sudden. You were smiling at water fountains and the beauty of nature here last week. Now
I'm
you're
also no longer bitter.
biking.
What
You're
happened?
like Mr. Outdoorsman. God, I apologize for ruining your...
No, but I mastermind schemes. So
Yes,
it really feels like they have these bikes everywhere, and every time you pick one up, it feels like you're stealing a bike. You have to like look around, and then it's not.
Is it bike share program?
Yeah, it's like a bike share. But
is there a credit card attached or no?
No, they're just there.
Ooh,
There's some of them are labeled free,
yeah,
and other ones are labeled for certain buildings. But essentially, whenever you pick up a bike, it's the same model of bike, essentially, but everyone's adjusted it differently, so it feels like you're riding a whole different bike every time. So there's that awkward, like, 5 seconds of, like, can I pedal this thing?
Figure out how to ride a bike?
Yeah, relive it every moment, every time you jump on a new bike. So I was, like, scheming, how can I, like, keep the same bike? And I could lock it down, but I don't want to be a dick. Like, that'd be a dick move.
This is a real thing. You could physically mark it with a knife. It sounds terrible. No. Like real. If you got a pocket knife or something, you etch like just like 2 lines on it somewhere near the handlebars ish. It's not enough that someone would return that. I do this with stuff all the time. I feel like.
Yeah, but it's not like marking your name. It's marking.
No. So you would know. Yeah. There's no way to guarantee.
There's like 1,000 bikes.
Oh.
So once that good bike is gone, it's gone forever.
Well, you could. I guess so. I guess you'd know it just by pedaling.
Yeah.
So.
And this is, I always feel like I'm stealing it whenever I get on it. So it's kind of like the GTA of bikes.
Oh.
So if you saw somebody with your etched bike, you feel like you should run up to them because that's your prized possession, even though you don't own it. Knock them off the bike, and then
triangle button.
Mm-hmm.
It's mine, bitch.
So my scheme is at the beginning of the day, I park as far away as possible with a predestined bike in that far corner that no one ever would go to because it's too far away. So every day, I take the bike from that far corner.
All the other bikes get taken that are close to the building.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Exactly. So I take the bike to work, and then hopefully no one steals it while I'm working, and then take it at the end of the day back to that spot.
Could you buy a bike that's exactly like this bike?
I feel like people would steal it.
Well, do people have their own bikes, or is it all like community biking?
It's community biking.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of in my life. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
You're in some community bike program scheme? You're happy? I don't like it. It's just ruining the podcast. It's going between us.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll get bitter later on. Just give me a week.
That's fair. Interesting. And it's interesting you did say Grand Theft Auto and bicycle, because in San Andreas, where you're CJ, if you did something long enough, you got skills in it, which made sense. You bike long enough, you jump far enough, you stamina.
Going off of ramps.
The first thing I did in the game was just drive around on the bicycle, like a little ching, 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 ching. And I just biked everywhere and bunny hopped everywhere. To the point where I maxed out the bike and the bike abilities. So I could jump almost like 15 feet straight in the air. And I learned how to do kind of like stunts where you could bounce off buildings and like chain things and all. And what I would do is, I'm still very famous for my college roommate for this, is they would always say like sayings as you like did stuff randomly, like your character. He just says things like, oh, thanks for that money. And like, you know, like, well, I tell you to mess with me if you kick people and stuff. And I still think, what was the expression? I did like a 15-foot jump on a bicycle next to a car full with gangsters, and I had an Uzi, and I just went ding, 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 ding. And I wasted the car to my right, just blowing everyone away. And he was like, thanks today. And then he said, blame society. And I drove off and did like a 15-foot thing. And to this day, Ben's always like, ding, 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 cool, blame society. But like, it was just really funny that I I also managed to get into secret areas that you couldn't get into because the bike hop was like
skill on a bike.
Yeah, dude. I could just jump into the protected army areas and it would give you 5 stars automatically. Oh man, I missed the bunny hop, man. 15-foot bunny hop.
I like that all your friends are named Dan, so it sounds like you're a little insane.
Dan was like, yeah, I do have my grade school. Dan is like my best friend through grade school. He's an avid watcher of the podcast. I actually have a terrible story about him later. But anyway, mom's the word. There's high school Dan. We're talking to him right now, gang. This is high school Dan.
That's me.
Can't believe it, this guy. He's my high school buddy. We like kiss so hard. Oh. And then there's college Dan. He was my drinking buddy and my hockey buddy. He is a mess. I love it, Dan. Anyway, those are my 3 Dans. Like that's my, you know.
It's like the Pep Boys logo, except with all our faces on it.
And maybe you're all kissing? I don't know.
That's maybe in your dreams.
If you guys are kissing, I don't know. Real quick for the episode, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Before we move on to the next area, corrections. Mm-hmm. Here at the Unpanders, we pride ourselves in always being upfront and honest with you guys. And we did make a mistake in the last episode. Yeah. We referred to him as Harry Weinstein. Molesting, raping all those women, prowling, predatory nature. Really disgusting stuff, folks. Joke's on us. It's Harvey. Oh, man, we're so silly here.
Oh, the wrong guy.
The Unpanders like to denounce Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Weinstein.
It's amazing how many people are coming out of the woodwork to say he did something to them. And it's like the private enterprise of Hollywood is just like denounced him immediately. Like they already knew it.
Grade school, Dan was mentioning this too. He's like, it bothers me. And I was like, why? Who cares? And he's like, well, it's like now people are coming out against Ben Affleck because he squeezed this girl's butt. And I was like, who cares? Like, I get what he's saying. Like, when something happens, people tend to pile on. People tend to speak up. It's like a fashionable thing, a trend almost.
They're starting to call out all these different celebrities.
Right. Like you said, come out of the woodwork. And to some extent, it's overkill. It's over the top. But sure, most of it's legitimate. You know what I mean?
The part that bothers me is they must already know. Like, the people who are the higher-ups in Hollywood must already know he behaves like that. Because otherwise, why would you dismiss him?
Does. And my thing is, if someone told you that story 3 days ago and it broke in the news, would you go like, wow, that's surprising?
You'd have flashbacks of when he did that to you.
No, I'm saying to you, a person who's not in Hollywood, were you surprised by this?
That I could see certain producers and directors manipulating it. Yeah.
I think they're, and listen, if they get caught, good on them, they're jag-offs. I hope they do get busted. You know what I mean? I don't get to do that stuff at my job, do I? Yeah, baby, you want that? You want that toilet paper? Dance for it. Dance for it.
Toilet paper at her. Oh, man.
Like rolls of paper towels, which I do sell. Me and the POTUS have something in common. It's called throwing paper towels at people. We do it well.
That was a terrible. Why does he think that's a good idea to show off his publicity? I can't even say it because he's so horrible at it. Publicity skills by throwing paper at people.
I mean, he shows up late. He doesn't really want to get involved. He didn't really help. So he was just like, the long fade.
This woman is not looking at him. Right in your face.
Okay. Man. Truly a leader among men now, I will say.
I don't know.
Would you like to move on to a few different things?
Ooh, we got to react to this. You want to go to a scenario or a situation, and I do have one. I have one for you actually.
Do you actually?
We can trade.
We'll trade scenario.
I'm going to start with mine. So, real life, you have 5 minutes of this thing happening, and the 5 minutes is a cheat code that you could enable. Mm-hmm. So, like, what cheat code would you pick in real life to live for 5 minutes?
Mine's going to be pretty boring. It's like invisible and rob a bank. I think. I mean, I'd have to think about it a little longer.
A little good.
But the money would be good for me. It would teach me values like hard work and future planning.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could use some more. I mean, only because the other ones, it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes of flying. I'm like flying around enjoying the hell out of it. I mean, I did parachuting or whatever out of a plane. Mm-hmm. I fell for like 4 minutes and then I parachuted for like 10 minutes. So I kind of already had that and it was awesome, but like, you can do anything.
Don't need that.
Really?
You wouldn't want like invincibility?
I would, but for what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's exactly.
I can't do anything. Like, I'm also thinking, I have a very Grand Theft Auto mind today, but am I going to like take on the police force, tanks, cops with tons of guns and just turn on my invincible for 5 minutes? And then when it's over and they're still shooting, like, whew, we got that crazy son of a bitch. I mean, it's crazy. For 5 minutes, it was like he was invincible. As soon as 5 minutes was up, he dropped like a sack of shit. Like, I'd go down in history as a hell of a... Whew,
that guy could take some bullets.
He took some crazy bullets for 5 straight minutes.
200 rounds in his body.
I've never seen anything like it. And then what happened? Well, like a minute later, he died. He just dropped. You know? What were you going to do with Invincible for 5 minutes? A boxing match?
I feel like you could, like... The problem is you'd have to save it for a moment where it's useful. Like if like someone was in danger.
Or accident or something?
Yeah, like a burning building. You'd be a hero. And
see, I also didn't think this was any power you want for 5 minutes on layaway. Like, I feel like really stretching it here. Give me 5 minutes and like half an hour head start. I'd probably invisible, rob a bank, I don't know, or rob something with money.
But like a cheat code could also be like a save. Like you could make a save point before you do something and then do that and then you just go back to the original save point. So that 5 minutes doesn't count.
Too. Would go back in time 5 minutes?
Yeah.
But would it only be limited to 5 minutes, not like 5 days?
5 minutes.
Because it's a 5 minute power, right?
Okay. Yeah. So you could like beat up your worst enemy. Horse
racing.
That's true.
See that? Those races last under 5 minutes.
From a monetary aspect.
I'm always listen. 5 minutes of powers. Because you can't sleep with like 40 people in 5 minutes. Well, you could, right?
You'd have to give yourself 2 powers to be likable and a do-over.
Nice.
Whatever it is, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
No, I think it's a lot of work. The invisible thing. I guess I had to do an armored car from like a super Wawa. That's like the best bet.
If you were, if you could just disappear from an armored truck after you stole it, they'd have all the cops around it, and they'd bust into it, and then
no, because the money bags aren't invisible. Stretching the rules. Stretching that too. Anyway, I got one for you.
All right.
You're alone in a public square. I don't know if this is like a local playground or something. Mm-hmm. Devil on your shoulder appears. He says, see that stupid kid over there? And you're like, you're looking, and there's like, he's a kid. He's kind of fat. He's like 4, like maybe 5. Yeah, he's kind of fat. You get $1 million if you let that kid drown. And you're like, drown? Jesus, I didn't even know there's... And you realize they're like, oh, there's a pool over there. And then the devil disappears. And it's guaranteed you're going to get the $1 million. All you have to do is walk away, look away. You do it?
So you're not allowed to aid in any way. You're not allowed to tell somebody else.
No, I mean, the kid's walking towards the pool now. No one else is around. That's why I said that.
But you don't have to forcibly do anything to the kid.
No. I mean, you don't have to go over and drown the kid. That's disgusting. Oh, my God. You just know he's going towards the water, and he's probably going to fall face first. And for some reason, he's going to drown.
See,
and now you have awareness of that now.
Yeah, I couldn't do that because I could see my own kid running that way. And if someone else were to take that choice,
now what if
I'd want my 5 minutes of glory.
What if the devil said, hey, buddy, 10 minutes ago you let a kid drown. You didn't even know it was happening. Here's $1 million. You'd be like,
welcome to hell.
No. Like, would you accept the money? I guess you're like, but I didn't know.
Yeah, I had earphones in. I'm not sure.
But I mean, really, that is knowing is the big difference then.
Knowing that he's going to drown, or knowing that there's a deal.
You didn't do anything either way. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the question.
If I see it happening, I got to save the kid.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm feeling good nowadays. I'm not
you didn't know I said he's fat.
You're going to make it more enticing? Like the kid just did
he's
something
juicier.
to your kid?
He's yeah.
Permanently disabled your kid?
I mentioned the child is a huge racist Harvey Weinstein fan. Now, what are you thinking, huh?
He's pro-Nazi and is conventional in every single way except those.
Conventional except for that.
Such a bland
this 4-year-old is a Nazi.
I think that exists, actually, but that's okay.
I'm sure
it's not okay, does. But for the kid, his sake, he'll survive.
He's good around anyway.
I'm going to save him.
Maybe.
Ooh, that brings us to the next segment.
Which segment, Dan?
Celebrity Challenge.
Celebrity Challenge!
Oh, yeah.
This is our favorite part of the show. I have one, but if you have one, I want to hear yours.
No, you go ahead. You got it.
Okay. Hey, Krista Flockhart and anyone from the flock of seagulls, I don't know. I couldn't figure out one name of anyone in that group, but if just one of you are watching this today, you're looking at me. You're looking into my soul. You're looking into Dan's soul over there. You're seeing this. I challenge you guys. I want you to find your charity strings, huh? You know what I'm saying? Put your money where your mouth is. And I want both of you to have a contest to shave us. Yeah.
Shave us?
yeah. I want to see one of them's going to shave you, one's going to shave me. And we'll see who does it better.
Huh. Do they have to... How do they have to
I'm talking
locate us?
Straight edge. Oh, no, straight edge. That's fine. We'll find them.
We'll find them to be shaved? They have to agree to shave us, and then this is how the challenge will go.
With a straight edge. Yeah. Like the old-time barber style. Like the foam, where you put it on with a little...
What happened to her after Alec McBeal? Did she just...
I don't know, but...
I feel like she dated like a random celebrity. Maybe some guy that was
really famous. She was set for life.
Like a Clooners. A George Clooners.
You can say Clooney. We can't get arrested for saying George Clooney.
I was watching a lot of BoJack Horseman.
I don't watch. I don't get it.
You gotta
I hear it's funny.
It's good stuff. A lot of subtle. I don't even know.
Cliches. Depressing.
It's a mix of all of that.
Okay. I've never seen it. I just know it's what's his face? Will.
Yeah, Will Arnett. Oh, Harrison Ford. That's who she dated.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that. This is like our celebrity gossip hour. Interesting.
Oh, wait, no. Well, I thought he was married, though.
Maybe he was at the time.
Oh.
You're saying, folks, we're not here to pander. We're here to tell you the goddamn truth.
She's a little too skinny for me, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not going to
argue
with money.
I'd rather her shave me and you get one of the guys from Flock of Seagulls. We'll see which one. You know what I mean?
How do you judge the competition, though? Better shave job?
Just
most hair?
Yeah. Most hair.
Whoever has the least amount of hair remaining on their body.
Oh, it's a body challenge. I'll go full bore. I'm keeping this head hair. You know what I'm saying? I won't do this. She's straight edging your eyebrow. Yeah. Holy crap. I might want the guitar player from Flock of Seagulls to do it.
Oh, man.
Maybe he's dexterous, you know? She could have a drinking problem. Maybe she shakes. No, we're not saying she does, folks. We're not here to say that. But if she does,
Shaving makes me nervous. She gets it close to your eyes.
I love it. All right. That's our celebrity challenge, folks.
Yeah.
If you know Krista, if you know anyone from Flock of Seagulls,
make sure they find out, because we're willing.
We're there for you.
Yeah, we don't have to be able, because you'll be able.
Before we get to the main topic, I know the main topic's a juicy one today. You just want to bite into it and give it the old... You know what I'm talking about. We did want to do the word of the day. Wow. Do you know what my word of the day is?
No, I don't. I don't know.
Weird, because you introduced me to it.
Oh, don't steal my word of the day. I hope you don't use it.
Is it? Go ahead. I'd like to hear
I was gonna do two of them, because I misused invigorate and said enervate.
Embarrassing.
Which is the opposite of invigorate. Is enervate.
Oh, it's the opposite.
It steals all your energy.
You said one thing. I meant the opposite.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Your son is going to live. I mean, not live. I'm so sorry. I used the wrong word.
Yeah. I love those opposite words that kind of sound the same. Like emaciate. I always got that one wrong.
With what?
Emaciate. I don't know. I always thought it was like emasculate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Emaciate. Well, they're both bad, so I don't know.
Emasculate could be like you're strong and manly.
No. It's taking away your masculinity.
Really? I got both of those wrong? Shit.
Jesus Christ. They're both bad, but they can be different. Like, you can make fun of someone and emasculate them. You can be like, Dan, nice hair. You look like you never had sex with a girl. I don't know. That's emasculating. You can be like, really? You're like less of a man right now. I thought.
I'll take a note of that later and address it in a future time.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a list of notes. I'm just crying.
Kristen Lockhart, I want you to shave my entire head. I'm going to win. And win your heart.
You're going to emaciate me.
Mm-hmm. What was your other word, though? Because this could be my word.
Oh, I got 4 words in, so you're good. Invigorate, enervate, emaciate, and emasculate.
It's like we wrote a book, folks.
I didn't even define them. Go ahead.
Folks, my word is ferrite bead.
Oh.
You know why?
You stole it.
Yeah. I didn't steal it. I told you I got it from you.
I guess I gave you knowledge, which is widely known.
It used to be syncopation.
Ooh, syncopated.
You know what that is?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It came up in the Selena Gomez song. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, ferrite bead,
out of what?
Folks. I wish I had one laying around, but the only one I have is at Dan's house, and he's using it. So
plugged in.
Being used.
I can't even.
Anyway, it's like, you know the little skinny cord? Like, you're looking at a cord, and you're like, this is a skinny little cord. It's like, it connects your stupid devices. You got one?
Oh, look at that.
Yes!
That thing right there. I put it right in front of my face. Right in front of my face.
It's ferrite bead. 9 out of 10 stars from UnPanders. You know what it cuts down on? Listen. That high-pitched whine you sometimes hear in our episodes.
Yeah.
Hear it anymore?
That was my fault.
We hope not. Anyway, the ferrite bead probably got rid of that sound. You're welcome, folks.
We're constantly improving here at the UnPanders.
Number 1 at the iTunes store. The UnPanders. Man, we're going to get laid a lot, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you're watching us. It's an expression.
Yeah.
Same with Dan.
Yeah.
Say it. You have to say babe is an expression.
Yeah, it's an expression. Don't worry about it. We're
good. Solid, babes.
She's going to get me. Don't worry. Ferrite bead. So
you bend over, and the girl oils you up, and the ferrite bead gets right here and stops the sound waves from making
the high-pitched whine, which is about to happen. Yeah. All those electrical resonances, they die inside.
I mean, if you get used to it enough, it doesn't even bother you. Mm-hmm. It's like the ferrite bead just walks in. You know what I mean?
Nice and smooth. Evens things out.
Sorry. Would you like to get into some of our main topic of the night?
I think I would. Would you like to?
Wow.
Let's do this together. Ooh, I just have to slide. Ooh, yeah. Scroll wheel all the way down. Ooh. So, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you feel like your physicality...
Life has passed me by?
Yeah. Where's your physicality at? Is it at a maximum? A peak?
No. I'm trying to think, though. I don't think it's that bad yet. I guess it probably peaked like 3 years ago, maybe 4. I don't know.
What about mentally?
I'm guessing.
Where are you at mentally?
I want to say I peaked 8 years ago, but I could peak again in 2 to 4 years.
Okay, you're a double
well,
peak.
No, because college really pushed my mental faculties. But now in my everyday job, it's not really challenging me mentally, but I could see I'm not losing any mental edge. I'm just not using it.
Yeah, there's no reason to use it.
Right, and I think for the next 3 to 4 years, I couldn't see a problem with that. Now, down the road, I have no freaking clue.
So our topic today is
peak
human.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. Which actually, if I'm gonna sidestep here. Go on a tangent,
please.
I was reading about lab-grown meat, and if human meat is grown in the lab, is it cannibalism?
Yes.
But cannibalism really implies that you're killing someone to eat them, and they're human. And the meat that you're growing in the lab is not really human, and you're not really killing it.
Well, here's my point, counterpoint. If you could make meat taste like or be based on anything in a lab, like you're literally making it for consumption, why would you make it human?
But how would you know? You'd have this one critic that has been a cannibal. He'd be tasting both. He'd be swirling his wine.
Now this is really a debate that I feel like is silly because I feel like I know, but I don't. You would know if it's human meat, wouldn't you?
What if they're trying to grow a human organ, like a heart, and they're like, "Wow, we messed this up.
We made a whole bunch of arms.
Just chuck it in with the sausage."
Thighs.
Ooh, thighs.
Meaty, succulent thighs. That's succulent.
I just imagine Raquel Welch from Shawshank Redemption, that poster.
Uh-huh.
If she was grown in a lab. No, I'm not going to finish that.
You would still eat her?
Yeah.
Go have sex with her, yeah, maybe. But
thank God cannibalism isn't legal, because you'd be like different parts of real celebrities.
Is cannibalism illegal?
If you were to freely... I don't know, can you freely give parts of yourself to be eaten?
I have no idea, because you can't mess with a corpse. It has nothing to do with cannibalism.
Well, you could survive without chunks. Like, they could take chunks out of you.
Can they?
Like, your liver would
or is that a piece of a corpse?
So it'd be like foie gras Dan.
I think that's a corpse thing. Like, there's a law with corpses. You can't do certain things with them. You can't tie them to the roof of your car and drive around town. Woo! Woo!
Let's look at it. Look at the Bernie's day out. Bernie's weekend.
Yeah.
Let's look at this in the future episode. So let's go
break
back
it down for the folks.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Let's go back.
Let's go back to peak human. I had to sidestep. I read that article today, and I was like, that's interesting.
What did you get for peak human reaction time? Because there's like numbers go up and down, but they're all in range.
Do you have stats on this? I hope you have stats.
No. I looked at one exact website that had 24 as the highest with your reaction time.
Is the quickest, like one of the... I've seen those things that NHL players use. They have like a board, and they have little things that light up, and they're supposed to smack it. And I've seen like Giroux do it, and it's fantastically fast. So I could see 24 seems reasonable. I feel like I'm slower than that.
Well, then they broke it down to 2 segments. I'm getting most of this from a Reddit page, so it's 100% fact.
Sure.
There are 2 kinds of reaction time: simple reaction time and choice reaction time.
Like it doesn't get to your brain before you make a decision. Like when you touch a hot stove.
Other way around. Simple reaction time is literally just the nerves.
Yep.
What you see gets to your brain. What you feel gets to your brain. What you smell gets to your brain. Then there's a time between your brain getting it, and then your brain has to decide what to do with it. So your brain says, I'm going to move my damn hand. Or your brain says, you know what? That smells awful. I'm going to turn to the left. Like whatever your brain wants to say. Your brain has to do something.
I don't even think it gets to your brain. I think it gets to like your central nervous system, and it's like...
Well, hot stove does... Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Now we're parsing. Yes, certain reactions to keep the body safe from harm. Pain, heat, and certain real extreme ones don't even make it all the way to the brain. They stop like it. There must be cutoffs. You have a cutoff man in baseball. It's like your cutoff man in the nervous system. So you get halfway there, and it's like, heat? Yeah, pull your goddamn arm away.
I don't think that changes over time. I think that stays the same.
Actually, that can change, too. Simple reaction time can change, and it gets slower with age. Might not be much slower. But the interesting is choice reaction time, where you decide what to do with the information. It's probably more important. Well, for a while, me and my college Dan friend, not this guy, were really depressed because apparently like 22, 21 is like when you're peak for video games too. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, like Koreans and stuff playing. Jesus Christ, what can I remember? Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike. Yeah.
Like the best ones in the world are like 22, 23. Like once you're like 28, like they don't let them play. Like you're out of the league and stuff like that. And it's like, damn, I'm too old to play video games. Well, folks.
Oh boy,
yes.
I like this.
They were just measuring fast twitch, which you just said, like the quick, simple reaction time. Mm-hmm. Guess what, bitches? Choice reaction time is at its peak at just under 30. So like between 29 and 30.
So you're already past your prime.
So I'm already past my prime, but not by 8 years. Only by 1.5, 2-ish, 3-ish. I forget how old I am.
I'm glad you touched on that.
Oh, go ahead.
That was a missing hole in my research here.
Was it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I was really looking at like physical exertion.
Right, which is important. It's very important, but it's not the whole story.
And there's like the almost fast twitch. There's sprinting and there's marathon runners. So I look between the difference. And there's
what was the difference?
There's definitely a decline in performance when a marathon runner hits their late 20s. But a sprinter, their shortest distance under like Olympic world records is 23 to 31. So there's a plateau there that's actually later than I thought, because most people say that your peaks in your early 20s.
Yeah, right, 22, whatever.
And the world record average age is 26 for speed.
Oh, for speed, okay. Runners in general, or?
For runners in general.
Okay,
these are sprinters. And swimming, the world records are all around 21. So like the swimming is kind of like I would say it's like the peak sport for using all your muscles.
Right, so you're using more. So it's very muscle-based, less brain-based.
Yeah, because we know a lot of swimmers that are just rocks.
Yeah. We mean the rock-hard abs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just want iron a shirt on that puppy. Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. So if I were to pick up a sport now, it wouldn't be swimming because I'm already way past my prime. But it would make me healthier.
It would.
And then sprinting and running, they're a little too boring, I guess. I don't know. I
know where you're going with this because I came across the same number you did in this next one.
Oh, you did?
And it's actually just past the prime, I believe.
Oh.
Just.
For what?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a mental game, maybe?
Oh, yeah, mental game.
Go ahead.
So
Bring it down for the folks.
So I'm going to switch it all the way to pure mental game, which is supposed to be chess. This is a different article, I think.
No. There's a reason.
Oh, okay.
So I saw you wrote down, what was the number you had?
31.4.
I love the 0.4.
Yeah. Some article really specific.
Was my article was a different article than yours. I got Business Insider, I think.
Uh-huh.
But Business Insider had a list of all the what you peak at in your age and the thing in question.
That's convenient.
So, which was interesting because you wrote down 31.4 was for chess, and I thought, what the hell, arbitrary number.
Yeah.
Well, guess what Business Insider said? At age 31, you peak at chess. And I was like, damn, maybe you do. Huh. Or maybe they still have the exact same information. We don't know, but...
Well, if you think about chess, you're analyzing all possible moves in a time frame, and the way they do professional chess is they hit that clock. So
do you know what the timer said? What is it supposed to be, 2 minutes?
You have a block of time, and when you hit the clock,
you're eating into your block.
And you're eating into your block, yeah. So I think if you go over the time, I don't know.
Get penalized or something?
Yeah, we're going to have to do a correction on this, but...
No, we won't. We're probably right.
Yeah, it's just the neural connections and moving fast through all your options. That starts to peak at a younger age than we are at now. Which kind of sucks.
Kind of does, but hold on. So, the Business Insider article I thought was pretty cool because it visualized. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's a lot of nice graphics. I'm gonna highlight Sporting Intelligence and SB Nation and Quant Hockey, which is gonna come up next.
Well, let me do this. You son of a gun. A few things I thought were interesting was new language learned.
Oh.
You peak at age 7.
Wow. So you have a harder time learning new languages after 7?
And my theory is from the very first episode of the Unpanders, we talked on how do you think in language, right? Mm-hmm. And if by age 7 you have your whole language pretty much down pat, your original language, now you're thinking in that language, which makes it harder to what? learn a new language because you're thinking in a different language, right?
I'm curious if it's like learning multiple languages at a young age confuses you later in life.
I don't think so. I think it's usually a good thing.
You understand different ways to analyze things?
Oh, I've been cursing at my kids in Spanish, German. Is Puerto Rican a language? I've been cursing at, yeah. That's just the word no. We're going to go with a few choice words.
Words.
This one's interesting. In that same article, do you know when you peek at remembering names?
I was always terrible at this, so.
Well, guess what? 22. We're not going to get any better. How about bone mass? It peaks at a certain age.
Bone mass.
We just crested it a couple years ago.
Late 20s.
30.
30? Really?
No, 30. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Your body's still...
You start losing muscle and bone and all sorts of important stuff. I can't even remember it all.
Muscle peak was around 26, 27, but bone was 30. This one's good. Remembering faces. You're the best at it at this age.
When you pick the
32.
32?
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember everybody's faces anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter. You don't remember their names.
Hey!
Hey!
Get out of here.
God, it's you son of a gun. Chances of winning a Nobel Prize go down after this age.
Wait, I'm going to pause
4-0.
4-0.
Okay.
40. I'm thinking, I'm wondering what the stats are for people who get married before they're 32 and after they're 32. Like, does the percentage dramatically change if you can't remember their face or their name?
You remember your significant other's name and face, I believe.
It takes a little more effort.
So arithmetic maxes at 50. Check that one out.
I think I had that stat somewhere in there.
Last two. Vocabulary maxes at 71. Hell yeah.
That's part of worldly knowledge.
Right, because you keep getting smarter until, my guess is at 71 you just start getting stupider. I don't know. Yeah. For all our 72-year-old viewers and beyond.
Yeah, but that might be societal and career-wise. You're done interacting
I'm
with
sure it is. I mean, people can get different diseases and brain damage by 50 and 60. So
yeah, you got to exclude all the people that are mentally off. Or will be, because you don't really...
Anyway, go ahead. Bring us to our next area in peak human.
So I was going to go to baseball. So the baseball peak, which is a sport which mostly relies on, I guess...
it's scenario, and I say down in distance. That's a football term, but it's a thinking game.
Yeah, it's
cerebral.
Exactly. It's knowing how... I guess most of it's hitting a ball, which is more mental than anything. It's not really reactionary. I think it's...
You know what they say about baseball? The most important element to hitting a ball in general?
No.
Is vision. Vision. 100%. Once your vision goes, you're screwed. It has nothing to do with arm strength, predictability. I mean, it helps being predictable, but you're visual. You're trying to pick up cues from, I guess, his hand, the pitcher, as you can see it, the spin of the ball, because you can kind of see which way the Reds are going, whether it's this way or this way or this way or this way.
Yep.
And from there, you kind of memorize which way. Is that usually cut in? Does that usually cut out? Does this one look like it's kind of up higher than they usually are? It's very hand-eye-y. Because, I mean, you have, what? Did they say it's, less than 2 seconds to decide if you're going to swing or not, which is ridiculous.
And
that's insane. And then you have to swing and hit it.
I'm going to say one of our English teacher, Mr. Mollusk.
Mollusk.
He would say the hardest thing in sports is to hit a baseball. Which
he is.
I think, if you were to somehow determine a scenario where you had to do this one thing.
Both at 90, right?
Yeah.
Your bat swings around 100 mile an hour, 90 mile an hour, and the ball's moving at 80, 90, 100. So
I'm guessing when's I don't know when your vision is peak because you can now manipulate it.
Well, that's what. Did you know that's what steroids really help you with?
So that you can increase your eye muscles?
No. It helps you focus and visualize.
Ah, huh.
That's why the steroid era was fraught with so many homers and et cetera, et cetera. It was very. It helped their muscles. I mean, it helped their arms and their, biceps, as big, meaty man biceps. But it very, very much actually improved their vision. Heightened their sense of vision, which makes sense, right?
It says they're squeezing all the blood out of their arms and legs into their eyes. Their eyes are looking every which way.
Muscle eyes.
As they drop a juice on for home plate. So some of the best, most interesting stats came from quant hockey, and it all had to do with NHL stuff because they actually broke down like 5-on-5 points. Your peak age. What do you think your peak age is?
I saw this and I don't remember, so I'm going to say 27.
It's 25.
That's close.
So there's a bit of a plateau, so 25 until 30, but mostly at 25. It's a little hill. And then it kind of breaks down into like when do you retire from the NHL, and that's like forwards, defensemen, goalies. They had stats for each one.
Yeah.
And this is probably people who don't like they kind of are floaters in the NHL too, so it probably brings down the age.
Sure.
So forwards is 24.
I know. Wait, retire?
For retirement, forwards. Forwards.
I guess because you also have the most forwards, so the most people retire. Right. That makes
probably sense. Too, and you're counting on production. You're not counting on something that's
right. Defenseman doesn't have that. Right.
Yeah. And then D is 24 to 32, so there's a plateau. Like the forward one was like really a sharp decline and curve, so there was a definite peak. But the D, because it was just nice and flat.
It was like,
yeah. And then goalies, who gives a shit about goalies?
I want to know.
Because it was all over the place. You have like a Tim Thomas who was like 40.
Interesting.
Like it seems like that would be the most reaction-based.
Vision. I think, again, that one goes to vision.
Yeah. So maybe it doesn't have anything to do with reacting to things. It's just being
I would imagine it's both.
It could be reading the play and understanding like what the best option for the other team is and positioning yourself accordingly. And probably luck in your defenseman too. Right.
Yeah, your team strategy, a little bit of luck, defenseman, positioning, everything.
Plus there's fewer of them, so it's like you can't really switch goalies too quickly.
Interesting you brought up hockey because for my father's birthday, guess where I'm taking him tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Awesome. They had a huge win. 8 goals?
8 goals, so I predict we will see a 1-0 shootout loss.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, because they spent all 8 goals in one.
Should have saved it for later.
We'll see.
I wonder what the average team age of Flyers is.
It's probably pretty young.
It seems like it's really young. Maybe hopefully 24, maybe?
Drop AMAC, drop one more, I don't even know who, but then you probably really drop the whole age bracket by a good amount. It'll be good to watch. So, not to get off topic, but a topic that occurred because of this topic.
Yeah.
Can I get into it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, if you type in peak human condition and species, you get an interesting result.
Like peak across all species? Please tell me there's like...
That's what I thought. I thought there were... That's what I was looking
wallabies.
for. I was looking for it. Anyway, I couldn't find that. I was.
Google.
There's something called peak. That's what I used. Google. What do you think I used?
No, keep going.
Yahoo? Okay. Dogpile?
Yeah.
Spider 27? I'm trying to think of some old search engines. Ask Jeeves. Do you remember the ones that were like real early on?
Your mama?
Your mama. Oh, yeah.
What? Lycos?
So many. Lycos? Well, that's Dogpile, I think.
Same thing.
There was one called like 12 Spiders or something. It cracked me up. 17. So, anyway.
And they all gave you shit results except for... Actually, they all did crap back then.
Right. Well, peak human condition is what all the fictional characters that are like superheroes, that's what they all have. So it's a condition where your body doesn't age normally. It runs on peak efficiency. It never gets sick. It's stronger than the average human, but you would never consider it superhuman strength.
So they try to cast people that look like they're this age.
No. It's not. No, in the superhero themselves, in their lore, has this condition.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give you an example of 2 people. Conan the Barbarian is considered peak human condition because he's not superhumanly strong. He's humanly strong. Liquid Snake. All the people in The Watchmen. Xena, the warrior princess. The Ninja Turtles are considered peak human condition. The main character from Doom, Mario, Batman, Wolverine, Liquid Snake, Lara Croft. The list goes on and on. But it's essentially like anyone who's a superhero and it isn't their superpower. Like someone who's super, super strong who lifts like buildings, like that's not peak human. That's weird.
But like all those people are like in their 20s. Like I visualize them and I see them as young.
But they are for decades, aren't they? Like, do you know what I mean?
They continue on at
even
that
in their
age.
story. Right, and that's the whole idea behind it, is that somehow their cells don't age like ours, and somehow their muscles work at 100%, so they don't always have to be working out. Their muscles just work at 100%. It was a whole series of articles that had to do with Marvel and DC and all this other stuff, and I was like, that's not what I'm looking for. but it interested me. I was like, oh, so that's the old peak human condition, you know?
Yeah, and I guess I would counter with Wolverine being really old.
He is, but he stays young, like, for decades. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Is he, like, 400 by the time he finally is old? Do you know what I mean?
I think he is.
Right. So he's been around since the Soviets.
Centuries, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. But how does he stay young? He doesn't have, like, age-defying powers. His body works at a level that's, like, 100%. His adrenaline is stronger. He never gets sick. He doesn't age quite the same. His muscles burn at 100%. His senses are always pushed to the limits. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But this is with a lot of these characters. Yeah, I cracked up at Mario. I was like, Mario? And they're like, yeah, because he can keep retaining his health going all day. And he doesn't stop.
Doing what?
Jumping on mushrooms. I don't know, dude. Either way, that was really weird.
And none of if you've watched like the Luigi and Mario series, like none of those guys are healthy. Any of the depictions of Mario.
Well, because that's an interesting thing, because he's the allure a fat Italian plumber with a funky mustache. You know what I mean? Like what you have to keep casting him as that, but he's a peak human, the old fat Italian. You know? Speaking of fat Italian, I'd like to bring something of notice to this podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I made my first Italian meal tonight. I've never made any of the 2 ingredients. You ready?
Yeah, hit me.
I bought a big old juicy pork butt, right? I bought a big old fresh thing of broccoli rabe.
Yeah.
And I cooked them. I never did that, so...
You heated them up?
Yeah, but you got to prep them differently, and I've never done it. And like, you got to cook down the broccoli rabe, and I made like this special baste and like paste for the pork butt. I'd never done this before, so I winged it. What I do when I wing it, especially cooking, is I read 4 quick recipes offline, and I combine all 4 into one. So like it's like. One was like 4 hours at 325 degrees. One was like 3 hours at 330 degrees. One was like 5 hours at 280 degrees. And I'm like, that's like 3.5 hours at 295-ish, you know? And I kind of just wing it all together. It was like, I did good. I used like all these cloves of garlic. Friggin', I busted open a Corona and poured it all over that bitch. I was like, shh. I did... Oh, yeah, Corona, dude. You got to beer base it a little bit. Got to get that. And then I put a bunch of the garlic cloves in a blender. I did olive oil. I did Worcestershire sauce. Have you ever done Worcestershire sauce?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, man.
So what was your woman's reaction?
You did what? Because I never made this before. I usually just stick to, like, grilled burgers or chicken.
Yeah. And
she's like, okay. And then the broccoli rabe, I just, like, read how you can... break it down. I didn't blanch it. I think I should have blanched it, really. But, well, the blanching it will make it softer.
Oh, interesting.
But lots of garlic, olive oil with that bad boy, a little sea salt, some cracked pepper. Get that bad boy turning. Cook it down. And then with the pork, after 3.5 hours, I just pulled it apart. So it was like, pulled pork? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I threw that on rolls that I bought. And I bought super sharp, like smelly, stinky cheese. So you get a roll. You get this sharp provolone, aged sharp provolone, expensive, has to cost money. You throw that in the roll. You throw some pestos that my father-in-law makes. It's like sharp provolone, pepper, artichoke, like it's a whole bunch of different stuff, and it's like into a paste, like a red paste, and it's like got crushed red pepper in it. Oh yeah, a little bit of everything in it. It's a pesto. And then you throw down that broccoli rabe and that pulled pork. You friggin' squeeze that sandwich. You put that bad boy in your mouth, man. You're gonna taste it. It's like, boom. If I did it different, I'd cook it a little longer, a little slower, and marinate it overnight. But I forgot I have a Flyers game to go to tomorrow, so I had to do it tonight. And I would have blanched broccoli rabe.
Wow. It's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I did it. I'm Italian, so now I'm like super Italian. Hey, forget about it, Mario. It's me, Luigi.
So, would you say that your woman cooks more than you do? Or cooks Italian more than you do, definitely.
She cooks better than me, I guess. And I cook 2 nights a week. She probably cooks 3 nights a week. And her sister cooks like a night or 2 a week.
It's interesting.
So it's like we split.
Yeah. Ever since I was little, I've always liked cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you know this part about me.
Oh,
so
well, maybe.
I just watched this Asian guy called Yan, and his Yan can cook. And my parents always used to say Dan can cook, so they would encourage it. But like even now, I cook for my wife, and I usually make maybe like 3 or 4 meals a week, and she makes maybe 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
are you the better?
Depends, because I keep changing the recipes until they're like, they're bad, and I don't remember what was good, so I go back to what I thought was good, but it's actually not what the recipe was. So it oscillates a lot.
You go off the beaten path. I understand.
Yeah.
You beat off the path.
Yeah, I beat off the path. So, she doesn't necessarily like what I make because her tastes change a lot wildly.
So it's her fault.
Yeah, it definitely is because it's delicious.
Interesting. Do you ever make any pulled pork, broccoli rabe, dude?
No, I'll get your recipe on that one.
Okay. Well, I don't have a recipe. I could not duplicate it. I just winged it.
That's exactly how I am.
Yeah, I like that though.
I decided to combine different recipes for different things.
Yeah, that's what I do. Combination recipe.
I should have just stuck with one. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's the way to go. And I mean, dames can't cook anymore. I'm sorry. Like, wait, hold on. Women, turn off the podcast. Women, this is turn off the podcast. Here. Guy talk. Dames can't cook no more. They belong in the job place. Excuse my language.
Stay out of the kitchen.
Get back in the job place and order me and get me enough money to buy a sandwich. Is that the offensive thing to say?
Please.
Here are the unpanners.
Please pay for my sandwich.
Yeah, please. Things are changing, man, with women and men and jobs in the workplace.
We're going to do an episode about women.
I know, we're going to, and probably it's the only one that's going to get us in trouble, and it's not going to be with the public.
Now back to our topic.
Back on the topic.
Peak human.
I do. Want to hear something interesting?
Sure.
The Daily Mail, it's a UK paper that literally publishes garbage, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Anything they publish, they just want clicks, hits, they're sensational. It's like our version of that joke.
Taps, squeezes.
Mm-hmm. In 2007, they did an article how we've already peaked as humans.
Oh, as a whole?
Oh, as a whole, yes. This is my last. Oh, this is the last thing I got into.
Revolution.
Close. The year 3000, we're going to split into 2 subspecies. Whoa! I got reading there.
Are we going to be on top, or are we going to be below? Who's the?
I think we're in the first group.
Yes.
The first group will be taller. They will be more beautiful, fairer of skin.
Thank you.
Sounds a little racy.
Yeah, that is a little...
They will live to... Hold on, this is 2007, and this is the Daily Mail. I don't condone them.
From 10 years ago.
Most of those people will live to be 120 years old. Right?
That sounds good to me.
Quote, unquote, in the article, they will have deeper voices and bigger penises.
Wow.
I know which group you want to be in, right? Listen. The other group will be ugly and goblin-like, weaker, with worse immune systems. because of their reliance on technology.
Wow.
So technology will weaken them. The other people are very natural still. They don't adhere to the computers, the internet, and they don't do video blogs.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking at it right now as a major in English, I'll say he just described Lord of the Rings, elves, and dwarves. So thank you, Daily Mail. I mean, really, that's literally what they did. They were like, it will be fair, Legolas, and beautiful, and live to 120, and I just whatever. And then the other people will be ugly and goblin-like, so dwarves. They will probably, live underground and carry axes? I mean, really.
Or just the goblins.
Or they could just be goblins, you're right, because elves and goblins go against each other.
But the goblins don't rely on technology. There aren't many fantasy movies that rely on technology to prove.
What about Avatar, kind of, the humans?
I guess the humans are portrayed as weak, right? Because
and they're only 6 foot tall. The blue Navi are 12 foot tall.
Yeah.
I'm not.
They're more natural. Natural.
And we all can acknowledge that is just Pocahontas told, right, in space, right?
I actually watched Pocahontas to see about the wind or something. You are the color of the wind.
Right. And she's blowing the wind and the little wishy things. She's dating, like, her dad's the tribe leader, and she's dating the other creature.
The
white
man who came as
the white man. White man. What? Take down their trees and nature? Like, that's Pocahontas. That's all it is. That's Pocahontas to a T.
That's a ripoff, yeah. That definitely is.
A big old ripoff. Anyway.
So let's go P-Cumin here. P-Cumin. P-Cumin! Let's see if I can get this out of my throat.
For the record, you keep getting fuzzy. I don't know if it's appearing on yours. But.
I saw there was a notification, but it doesn't matter. I got it. So there's I got it. I fixed the internet, guys. I fixed it. I clipped its vestibules.
Vestigials?
Yeah.
Wow, we're talking about fruit flies now.
Yeah. So you talked about this a little bit with processing speed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a decline at 20, and then so that's like quickness of thinking is pretty much gone. I mean, it declines at 20, and you just
wait, did you do any real research? What does the decline look like? Like, is it 12 nanoseconds to 14 nanoseconds, or is it like you reacted in 8 seconds and now it's 8 minutes?
It's like a slow. No, it's a slow fade.
It's very
slow fade.
And how slow? Like, this does make a difference. If the slow fade is like, okay, interesting, good. All you young F-bombs can go suck my older D. That's all I'm saying. But guys, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, that's all right. And then short-term memory declines at 40, so you have some time. And long-term memory declines at 50.
That's like you get 10 years.
You get a lot of time. And then worldly knowledge flattens at 50. So you're talking about vocabulary at 70?
Yeah,
that's
just work.
It just stays flat until you start to actually die.
So when do you actually start to die?
I think it depends on the person, but I think it's average age is 72 or 80 something.
Weird.
Somewhere in that range.
Is that average age of death or average age of decline to death, would you say?
I think death is like 80.
Interesting.
But that's pushing out.
Across the world? Is that the world? Or United States? I feel like that's the U.S.
I feel like that might be the United States. It might be like not third world. Anybody with healthcare and ability to fix problems. Not cancer.
So, while we were discussing United Kingdom papers and articles, we love to do that here. I found an article on independent.co.uk. This one's from 2012.
I think I read this.
The author claims that we reached peak human 10,000 years ago, and ever since we've been on the decline.
That's bullshit.
Hold on. So he claims that every generation, roughly 15 to 25 years, it's not figured out, there are 25 to 65 mutations that happen to your DNA and that get passed along. It's pretty uniform. There are way more than that, but 25 to 65 usually get passed along with every generation. well, we don't need the smarts and the wherewithal that we had when we were hunter-gatherers 10,000 years ago. In fact, he has a list of man as he sees fit and how it went. Hunter-gatherer was very good. They were intelligent. They moved around. They had to think on their feet. Their lives, right, and their lives depended on them being fairly intelligent and physically capable. The next phase, which he says is peak human, was the Athenian man. Around the time of Rome, Greece, you literally were at your philosophical peak as humans. The next phase he regarded, probably in the last 50 years, couch potato man. Doesn't sound very flattering, but
thanks.
Well, he claims the next group, which is coming, he wrote this in 2012, is coming now. It's called the iPad man. And they're even lazier than the couch potato because they do lots of stuff from sitting on their couch and just wiping their finger, directing traffic and buying things. And they're using their brain, but not quite in sync with their bodies. And it's just in another 1,000 or so years, it's just going to be like toilet human. I mean, and I disagree with it, but could there have been a peak human? And if there was, and you played the odds, it wouldn't be now. It would either be in the past, the present, or now. Well, let's say there was a peak human. Past, present, or now. Where would you put your money that it was? You think it's right now? You think we'll be in like 1,000 years?
The problem is that you're thinking about the average human. So if we have enough free time to do what we like, then there will be some people who actually have the drive to be physically able, mentally able, and then probably reach areas that are just impossible because of lack of knowledge in the past.
I agree. Now, isn't that called, not ladder theory, but the people 1,000 years ago didn't have the knowledge we do now, so they had to discover their things, and now we have that knowledge, so we use that to build on top of that. Like, you're constantly reaching up.
Yeah, civilization.
Well, sure. That's okay, fancy pants. Would you say invention has slowed down in the past 100 years?
I don't know, because I think there's a physics-based invention of things, and that might be slowing down. But there's like a human building on top of human invention that is exploding. There's so many things that are human-based now and not physics-based that you would never have predicted.
So is the advances in blog culture and video blogs like ours, is that really the next step in human?
I would say it's more like programming and ways to program and how to automate things, and then artificial intelligence, which is more human-based, right? Because it's not...
Right, it's based on our intelligence. It's not anyone else's, right?
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting.
Oh, you want to go somewhere with that?
I do want to go to, career-wise. When are you valued the most as a human being?
40? I don't know.
That is actually when it plateaus. And
the actual number?
Yeah, 40.
Brother.
It breaks down to people who are high school educated, higher levels, associates, bachelor's, master's, PhD. Mm-hmm. So most of the people who have the lower education, it kind of peaks and then fades. Mm-hmm. If you have a bachelor's, it kind of stays the same, 40 and on. Or if you're higher, the top 10% educated, it actually spikes later on in life at 50.
I guess because you can do things mentally or writing-wise or research-wise after you're 40 and 50, because physically, obviously, if you do a physical trait, you can't do that over 40, 50 because you're physically not as capable as you are. But mentally, you're still pretty with it.
Mentally, you're capable. And I think this society needs to pay you back for the time you spent learning. So if you learn until you're 30 and you're like a surgeon, your peak should probably be when you're 50, so you can make your money back and be, well regarded, not retired at 40 something.
Interesting, Dan.
So what about sexual peak, which is what we haven't touched on at all?
I saw that. Well, I feel like that's almost common knowledge. The younger you are, the more you can rev it up. I don't know.
Blatantly sexual you are.
Yeah, I mean, What is it for men and women? I saw it. I didn't, and it didn't surprise me. I wasn't like, wow, 73 for men.
They said that there's testosterone which peaks at a certain time, but it doesn't really correlate to sexuality.
Okay.
Because sexuality for women is more mental, more psychological.
Oh, interesting. So what's the women one? What's the women's number?
Most of the women's number is like from 28 to like mid 30s or even to 40s.
Yeah. Anyone in that area, DM us.
Yeah.
Hit us in the comments below if you're in that age.
Unpanderers.com.
Please.
Down below.
Click here. Click hard.
So
click back.
It's interesting. It's an interesting age
range. It is
range.
interesting.
And for men, they said, if you're 18, you could probably much, physically, you're capable of going and going.
Plowing.
And going.
It said plowing.
Yeah, pretty sure it did.
It said plow away.
Refractory period is minimized at 18 while being elongated.
Whoa.
And,
folks.
So the peaks were all over the place for the men's sexuality, too. It was like 18 to 30. And you would assume it'd be there because, you're trying to make babies at that time period.
True. Makes sense.
But the problem is that you're
So
trying...
wait, how do you measure all these things that we're talking about, I guess?
I guess you could measure testosterone, which is how most do it.
Right, but then we just discussed that isn't 100% how it works.
Yeah, or you're relying on surveys on how often you have sex.
Right, and that's as believable as we can believe.
Factor 4 from American Pie, yeah.
Well, what's interesting is the people that would lie the most are 18 to 19 to 20.
Yeah. I've had sex with 30,000
like 700 women a day.
Oh, that'd be so painful.
Real quick, not the sidebar, but it's romance related.
Oh boy.
Listener of the podcast, the Hooge, Dan from grade school.
Did he already peak? Did anybody feel his peak? I bet not.
Well, he went. This is still a crazy story. I probably shouldn't tell it, but I will. He went to grade school prom with one of the cuter girls that was in our school.
Really?
Nicole.
Wow.
Say Nicole.
Oh, Nicole.
Well, anyway, he really messed up. He screwed up. I don't even want to get into what happened to him, but it ended badly. She doesn't want to talk to him anymore. He's in the ER. I'm not going to get into it. This is just 2 years ago, so it's been 10, 15 years. He finds out she lives in Florida. He's got a friend in Florida. So he gets this guy to stalk her on Facebook and start listening to her conversations. And hold on, he says, nah, she disappeared. He says, that's weird. You were telling me all this stuff about her every day. She's got a boyfriend who's handicapped. I don't know. It's real weird. That guy fell in love with her.
Oh no!
His stalker. Hey, it's what I think. That's what I think he's been doing. I think the dude just listens to movies and pretends they're real life. Because I don't know that this really happened. Because then he told me he fell in love with her, the guy, and then he said that she's dating a guy who's handicapped and is an architect. And I said, Dan. Oh, no. He said, Dan, this sounds exactly like the movie Something About Mary. That's what I said. And he said, no, dude, that's the most ridiculous shit I ever heard. And I said, oh, you mentioned it. What happened at prom? He said, you don't remember? My zipper got caught? And I said, Dan, this didn't even happen. So I don't know what's going on with Dildan69, but shout out for all your dating issues or whatever. He's thinking of moving to Florida. He mentioned Brett Favre in a sentence. I don't know. I'm worried about him. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Like some. Yeah, it's just you gotta pump the brakes, bro. Something's wrong. Shout out! Thanks for listening to the podcast, though.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We're gonna get them on one day. We're gonna disparage all this, air all the grievances.
Clear it out. Let's just go through every scenario that we talked about.
We're gonna break them all down. Huh?
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
We from the Unpanders like to thank you.
Well, you would. Oh, hold on. Real quick. I saw a comment the other day. I want to address it.
Really?
So, yeah, cover your ears. This is a curse word, but I have to read it because it's part of an actual comment.
Okay.
This is from AK Fuck Nasty 7. I don't even know
he's not.
I may pronounce it wrong. I hope I pronounce it wrong. It's inappropriate. He commented under the video, Get Rich or Die Trying. Huh. You both eat shit.
I hope this is a real comment. I didn't see this one.
Well, it just said you both eat shit, but
nice.
The shit was $1 something.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, thanks, AK. Nasty. Huh. And we don't hear damn panders.
No.
We do want to thank you for listening. We want to say that to everybody, though, I guess. Right, Dan?
Yeah, pretty much everybody except for Fuck Nasty.
Well, I still want to thank him for following, too. And hold on, I realized I'm sponsoring an NHL team a little too much. Oh, I'm going to take this off. We're just going to wear
Oh, yeah.
regular old shirt. I'm going to wear this tomorrow, too, folks.
Huh.
So,
I really hope he commented.
Look him up. You want to fight him? I'll fight the guy in the parking lot. I don't even care.
Equal fisticuffs.
Someone really hates the podcast, let's say. They're a real jerk. They're saying all sorts of big time stuff. They want to fight you. They say they'll beat us up. You go to meet them in person and they're 13. What do? You win the fight.
Yeah,
obviously. I mean,
yeah.
There's no question.
You can't let somebody talk you.
No. We're a strong, independent man.
Yeah.
Podcast.
And I may rely on you to come in and tag team.
Listen, Nick, he's like 5'11" and a half, and really strong. Well, I think that wraps it up tonight. We touched on a lot of things. We touched on a lot of you.
And you, Nick.
And you, folks. Oh, and you, Dan.
Folks. Yeah, we like you. We do like you.
Guys, we like you. Thanks for coming tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Have a good night. You check out our socials, unpanders.com. We have other things, too. You can find them. We believe in your intelligence, unless you've passed your peak.
Nice.
Check you next time.
So.